Guys, Missy here from Mana Health. We are going to start our class on pets and essential oils and how you can use essential oils on your pets. I welcome everybody who's here and appreciate you guys stopping by and showing some interest in helping your pets. So there's so many things that we do for ourselves, clean eating and watching what we put on our body and getting into essential oils for ourselves, but a lot of times we don't think about our pets and all the chemical things that we use in our house that can affect them. When you think about a dog or a cat, when you think about their senses, what's the first sense that kind of pops to mind usually? It's usually their sense of smell. So dogs and cats, they have a very, very strong sense of smell. And the cleaning products, the sprays, all of those things that you're using on your animal can be affecting them in a really negative way. Not to mention, let's think about all the carpet cleaners or powders that we put on there, and our furry friends are the ones scurrying around there right on top of that kind of stuff. Also, you can go to the vet, we get pounded with a whole bunch of different kind of medications. So, if you're into natural health for your own self, be aware of that. You can also integrate that into your pet's life too. So I'm sure you guys have probably seen a whole bunch of stuff out, commercials and whatnot, on all this clean kind of dog and cat food that's out there, and that seems to be a really big market right now, like grain-free stuff, all natural dog and cat food. We're really getting into that kind of stuff. I've got my Friskies bag here, which is full of all kinds of interesting things. So we always say if you can't read what's on the label, you probably shouldn't be putting it in our body. And got all kinds of really cool stuff in here. Number one ingredient being ground yellow corn. So I'm sure your cat appreciates the very first and top ingredient in their food being corn, because we all know that cats are wonderful herbivores. Obviously, I'm just kidding about that. Corn gluten meal, and then finally we get to some meat here. The third ingredient is chicken byproduct meal. So that sounds delicious, and I'm sure your cat is appreciating the Friskies right now. I'm not here to talk about buying high quality food, but I just want to show you like a lot of the chemicals that we end up putting all over our animals. So let's think about the flea and tick spray and the collars that we put on our animals, and again, the carpet powders. Those are some, imagine how abrasive that is to their sense of smell. The Febreze and the Lysol and everything that we're just spraying around and spraying around and spraying around, and this is so abrasive to them. We wonder why. Have y'all ever had a pet that's just been kind of a nut job? We actually had one, and he seemed to really have some serious disorders. He would just bolt down the road. He would not listen at all. We would call his name and he wouldn't even come back. And we would have to try to entice him with hot dogs, because he was well aware of what was in his dog food. Anyways, unfortunately we ended up having to get rid of him just because of those issues. And I've heard of and I have a dog over here, probably hearing him barking. And so we do, I have heard of several people who've had to get rid of animals for those exact reasons. I think we have someone coming up here. So we're going to pause for just a second and say hello.
Hi, how are you? Hey, baby.
Hey there, how are you doing?
Good. I'm sorry I'm late.
Oh, that's okay. I was just getting rolling. We're posting it to Facebook, so I'll just keep on talking. And I'm Missy. It's great.
I'm Susan Williams. It's nice to meet you. And Izzy, I work right across the street and work late, so I couldn't go get her.
No problem at all. I'm going to hand you this stuff here.
Great.
You can take this with you, and I'll just keep on rolling.
Sure. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, you're fine. You're fine. Posting live for all those people who can't make it out, because not everybody from
Right.
or is even from Camden to begin with. So, all right. So just getting into essential oils. So, what are essential oils to begin with? And if you guys have questions live, or Susan, if you have any questions, feel free to just ask as we go along. Essential oils are in plants, all different parts of plants. They're in the leaves, they're in the stems, they're in the roots. I just did a video today talking about ginger and how ginger is actually found off the little stalks that are in the root of the plant, and that's where we get our ginger. With doTERRA, we get our ginger right from Madagascar, and it comes right from them. So that's interesting. So essential oils are carried in microscopic little pouches, and the growers know exactly when to harvest these when they're full of potency, and they're distilled, and they're put right into a jar and brought right to home. Essential oils are used in plants in order to protect them. They're to ward off enemies, and they can do the same things in our bodies. So our bodies and our animals' bodies, we're already created. We're on a cellular level. We're already created to heal ourselves. Your body, knows how to mend a wound. But the essential oils are able to assist you in being able to do that. So it's not some healing ointment that you put on, but it's just getting right in there. Essential oils can actually permeate a cell membrane. Antibiotics cannot do that, and that's why you can actually, essential oils have been proven to be used on things such as like MRSA and superflu. They're actually able to get into the cell and allow and reconstruct that DNA that's been destroyed. So it's very interesting, and the things are very, very potent, very powerful. Let me just go ahead and go into my disclaimer before I talk about using essential oils on your pets. Okay, a lot of the things that you will Google and find, it's be careful, be careful, be careful with your pet. Why? Because they are very sensitive, and we just talked a little bit ago about the sense of smell and how it's so much stronger than ours, and they can react very strongly. Animals can. So they say be careful, be careful. 99.9% of all of the adverse reactions that animals have had to essential oils have been because someone is using an essential oil that is synthetic and that is not pure quality. So my disclaimer, whether I'm talking about animals or people, is this: I represent a company that I feel very strongly about. I represent a company that I am 100% sure of the purity of their oils. They're certified pure therapeutic grade. So they actually had to create a title because no one had tested as much as they had tested their oils. They have a program where there's a barcode on each one of your bottles. You can scan it. It'll tell you exactly who grew it, where it came from, and how it got to your hands. So when I say that you can ingest these, when I tell you can put a couple of drops in your pet's water or rub this, on the back of your neck, it is only because these are no fillers, no metals, no fungus, no mold, none of that nasty stuff. So anytime you go and buy an oil, whether it be from GNC or Walmart or maybe another company, if it ever says do not ingest on it, it's because there's something else in it that's not allowing you to be able to, something that your body's going to react to. So that's my disclaimer. When I speak about this stuff, I speak specifically on this brand and the quality of this brand. So kind of back to pets. We were talking just a little bit about pets that tend to have some kind of pets tend to have like mental issues. Pets suffer from things like anxiety. I don't know how Izzy is in the car.
She's great
in the car, but
doesn't like me to leave.
Okay, so there's separation issues. Yeah, for sure. I was talking about my crazy dog that would not come back, whenever he was running.
I have 2 of those too.
Yeah. So they, strays. We've taken in a couple of strays. Then they tend to have, some issues as well, skin issues. Even some, mental things and stuff. So. A quick story about my dog. He was bit, a couple of weeks ago, she was bit by what we suspect to be a snake. And we came in, and she had a large cut on her face. Her whole face and head was swollen. She couldn't move. She was having a hard time breathing. And, I didn't know what to do. Let's think about how much it costs to take your pet to the ER. If that's even available in a lot of people's areas. There was no way. I started taking some lavender oil, and I made a lavender oil. I mixed it with a little bit of coconut oil because you do need to dilute oils with pets a lot. And I just started rubbing them. I rubbed her head, I rubbed her neck with it. The calming effect was almost instant. She stopped panting, she stopped looking like she was upset, she started resting few minutes after that, I was looking at her face. I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to think that I was crazy. And my mother was sitting in there, and she says, "Missy, is her swelling going down?" And I went, "You know what? I thought so too, but I wasn't going to say anything." And sure enough, that she was, that's the only thing that we put on her. And so really, that's the only thing that it could have been. And her swelling started going that quickly. Exactly.
Because it goes directly.
It sure does. It's absorbed. When you apply it topically, it goes right to that area. If you ingest it, it helps your body internally. Bottoms of the feet or pads of the feet. So bottoms of your feet, pads of the pet's foot, it takes it into and hits every part of your body within about 20 minutes. So that's the really cool thing about it. It's quick and it's not chemical. And lavender has powerful effects, and that's one of the main oils. If you think about what's the one oil you need to keep in your house for your pet, it's going to be lavender. Again, remember, you need to dilute them a lot. So that's
I use grapeseed oil.
Okay, as to dilute the oil. Absolutely, yep, that's perfect. Coconut oil, sweet avocado oil, that works too.
Yeah, I have coconut oil.
All of that is wonderful for it. So there's a lot of things that you can make using essential oils. You can make flea spray, you can make insect repellent, and all of these things are natural and they're safe for your pet. And I also wanted to encourage everyone too about your cleaning supplies. Okay, your cleaning supplies, not only are they toxic to you, but they're even more toxic to your pet. We have a cat. She walks all over everywhere, and
where do we clean them?
And they're right on top of it. The powdered carpet cleaner is probably the third time I've said this, but you're sprinkling that powder on them. Where are their little faces at? We lost a kitten. This was before I got into using essential oils in my home. We lost a kitten, and I'm convinced. It happened the day after I had sprinkled the carpet with carpet powder.
And some of it has stuff for fleas.
Yes, and so you think that it's okay, but then you're just breathing that, or some of these bombs and stuff that we put off in our house. And so I just encourage you to start making some of your cleaning products with essential oils. I have some right here actually that I made. It has rosemary and lemon in it. It's just a simple spray bottle with some water. So this is just a very simple tabletop cleaner. You can make your own carpet cleaner using white vinegar, a couple of cups of water, salt, and about 15 drops of essential oil of your choice. And you just put it in a little spray bottle and go to town. And you're not harming your animal while you're doing it. To do a disinfectant, you just add some baking soda to the recipe.
See what it
Yeah, absolutely.
Either you can spray it on,
or
it's safe.
It's very safe. You just spray it right on.
Oh wow,
And
that smells really good.
And that's just using about 15 drops. So in a bottle of oil here, so this is a 15 milliliter bottle. You can get about 250 drops of oil out of one bottle. So when
it's
that concentrated, and about 15 for this. And so you're thinking, if my bottle of oil cost me $20, how many bottles of cleaner can you actually make?
That smells better than anything
absolutely
on the market.
Absolutely.
That's really good.
And investing in a good quality diffuser, and begin diffusing things in your home instead of using the Febreze or the plug-ins and all of those things that we're just spraying all over the house. So you can do a world of things with essential oils. So that kind of goes over the cleaner. I wanted to talk just about a couple of specific oils that you can use with your pets. You can apply the oils topically, like the back of their neck is a good place, or the pads of their feet. You can also diffuse it. That's probably the best way. Just make sure that you're diluting that, because remember, their sense of smell is so much stronger than ours. So there's a couple of ways that you can
would you dilute it more than what you do when you put it in for yourself?
Yes.
You would?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. You absolutely would. A lot of these blends you don't necessarily have to dilute for yourself, but I highly recommend diluting them for your animal.
In
the diffuser.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't need nearly as much.
I mean,
Okay.
I understand it. if you're going to put it on, it'll give it to them. But I didn't even think about the diffuser.
Right. Yeah, and that's a very, very quick way. You know, when you breathe something in, you got the olfactory gland. I mean, everything's hitting right there, and it's hitting the brain right when, you know, instantly, within a few seconds.
Is that the fastest way?
It's the fastest way for sure. Yep. Now, for particular ailments, like with the snake bite or the cut or any type of things, you can apply that topically. And coconut oil is actually highly antibacterial, so I would really recommend blending it with the coconut oil to use as in place of like you know, if you're going to give your pet an Neosporin or something, or you know, even some of the stuff that the vets recommend. The other one that you can do is oil spritzing. So you make yourself a bottle like this. Now this one just shoots straight out. I would get one that does like a little more of a mist, and spritz them with the oil directly. So that as far as like the flea spray and the the insect repellent, those would be the two that I would use a spritzer, and you can just spritz them. Now I don't know how well your cat is going to react to spritzing them with spray, but you know.
They recommend that to train cats, like to stay off the furniture and the counters and stuff, to spray them with water. You know, is there something you can use in that when you are teaching them to stay off that might be good for them?
Right. I think that there's a few scents that cats just absolutely can't stand. I think tart cherry is one of them.
Oh, really?
Yep. And so a lot of the sprays that you'll find have like a cherry scent to it, and they can't stand that. I haven't read about particular scents with the essential oils, but what they do say is animals do, just like humans, react differently. So if you see your cat getting, or a dog or bird or whoever, getting more agitated when you're using a particular smell, then I definitely would just stop using that right off the bat for sure. There's a couple of veterinarians that have really pioneered essential oil and aromatherapy use in animals. So people always go, what about the research? What about the research? So there's Dr. Nancy Brandt, and the other one that I watched a long interview with was Dr. Melissa Shelton. And they have started using essential oils pretty much exclusively in their veterinary practices. Which, you know, so if you want to look some things up in your spare time, it's Nancy Brandt and Dr. Melissa Shelton. There's a really good interview with her. It takes about 28 minutes to watch, but it's very informative. So just a few, and there's a ton, and if you're online and you're watching and there's a ton of stuff and you're overwhelmed, please feel free to message me, give me a call, ask a question now if you want. There's just a whole bunch of things, and if you know, scratch the notes down or whatever, or find whatever your particular animal needs. But lavender is going to be number one. That's my top one. That's a universal oil. Anything from allergies to burns, ulcers, insomnia, car ride anxiety, anything like that, the lavender, and even for yourself in your own home, you cannot have an essential oil collection without having some lavender, okay? Diffusing that, you and your pet are going to sleep soundly, I can promise you. Cardamom is another one. It works as a diuretic. It works if your animal has issues with colic. And it also helps normalize appetite, so if your pet's going through that. Fennel, there's another one. It affects directly our adrenal cortex. It helps balance your thyroid. And it helps break up toxins and fluids in tissue. I have fennel. Nope, I don't have it on me now. I carry it with me almost all the time because it's a wonderful oil to have for yourself, as well as for your pet. But it really, really helps balance if you're going through any type of thyroid issues, pineal glands, adrenal, that sort of thing. It helps balance that out. The Helichrysum, that is a top oil to have if you have an emergency first aid kit for yourself or your pet. It's antibacterial. It reduces bleeding. So believe it or not, if you apply a little Helichrysum on a cut or wound, whether it be a pet or yourself, the bleeding will stop. And that's why it's just very, very powerful. It also helps regenerate skin. and nerve repair. So when I was listening to Melissa Shelton's interview online, she was talking about a cat that had no nerve, was having no nerve function at all in his bladder. He would have to go every single month and have his bladder released and all of this stuff for years. The owner didn't want to put him down. She started using the Helichrysum on him, and after a couple of weeks of regular use, he started regaining control over his bladder. So it actually started repairing those nerves. When we think about things like neuropathy and other issues, human issues too, this is just a beautiful, amazing oil. Frankincense. Now, frankincense has been proven to kill cancer. It has. It is an immune system booster. Johns Hopkins did research and found that frankincense and oregano actually kill off tumors and kill cancer cells. Anyone that I know that has cancer, I usually, as a gift, give them a roll-on of frankincense oil. You can apply it directly to that area. And so, I know that's a lot of things that take out of a lot of our pets, and in a very painful way and sad way for us as owners. So just imagine, the miracle that could happen, just by using something as beautiful as a frankincense that people have been using since. I mean, Jesus' birth, that's one of the biggest things that pops in people's mind. Spearmint is another good one. If you have an overweight pet, spearmint helps. It also helps stimulate the gallbladder, and it can be used in short-term gastrointestinal uses in cats. So I know cats can sometimes have a lot of gastro problems. Cedar wood is another good one. It helps repel pests. It gives you a healthy skin and coat. Chamomile promotes relaxation. Clary sage, that's a good one for anxiety and excitability. So I wish that I had known this when I had my poor dog that I ended up having to give away. I would have been very interested to be able to try this. But the more you know, right? Hopefully we'll be sharing this information with people who can save us the heartbreak, save them the heartbreak of having to give away a pet. Geranium is wonderful for ear infections. Peppermint can help with arthritis. So do you have an aging pet who has a lot of joint inflammation?
IBS. I heard a thing on the John Test show. They did a study and took people and gave half of them just the placebo, and the other half peppermint that had irritable bowel syndrome with diarrhea. At the end of the 30 days, the people that were taking it either had no more symptoms or had cleared up so remarkably that they had life again. Yeah. So I had just started taking them, but it's hard to make the pills.
It can be a little challenging. I actually use the peppermint. I have some problems like that, and I will actually rub it topically right on my stomach where I'm having, because I'll get that really, I have that really bad bloating, and I'll rub it directly on there, and I can just feel it, just getting rid of that inflammation. It's been a lifesaver for me. I put a couple drops in my water and drink on it too. Now, if you have reflux issues and stuff, you may not want to drink it. Just remember, one drop is about 20 cups of peppermint tea. So if you're, it's very, very strong. Yep. And again, if you're going to drink it, please make sure you're getting something that's high quality. Again, that's my disclaimer. I usually say it a few times, but the last one I have is the marjoram. That also helps with skin infections, pests, and irritations. You've got a bunch more on your list over there, and it gives out some specific things. The one thing that kind of popped up was do not use the Melaleuca, which is the tea tree oil. That's not the, it's contraindicated for a lot of pets. They have some sensitivities, or there's been more pets that have shown a reaction to that. Again, try it. Each animal is different.
You have tea tree oil? Okay, I know you can get it.
Oh gosh, no, this is the stuff.
That's what I mean, I didn't realize
Tea tree oil is wonderful. I put it in my skincare regimen every day. I put put a little bit in my face oil. It's been used since Egyptian times to keep a youthful complexion. So it's I love my tea tree oil.
But a lot of pets have had reactions.
Yes, a lot of pets have had reactions to that. And they just say be careful with some of your hot oils, such as cinnamon, oregano, clove. So anything you think of like hot and spicy, just be careful with that. There's a lot of oils that are considered antibacterial, and this is really great news for us, not only for pets, but for ourselves. Eucalyptus, peppermint, lavender, oregano, thyme, clove, rosemary, those are all antibacterial. Antiviral, again, we've got lavender, so you see why I said lavender is a universal oil. You really need to have it in your kit. Cinnamon, again, eucalyptus, thyme, clove, frankincense, lemon, antiviral. Okay, so if you get the flu, what are they giving you? They're giving you a Z-Pack or Tamiflu or something, telling you to deal with it, right? Because there's nothing they can do. I'm telling you right now, there is something that you can do, and it's called oregano oil or some of these other ones, because I've had amazing results on them. So just for right now, I'm going to close up the live class and tell you guys thanks a lot for joining me. If you have questions,